Welcome back to episode 14 of the WPD podcast. We're all together again. Yeah. And sorry we missed, no, it was just you guys last week, wasn't it? And then we missed a couple of weeks, so apologies for that. We're going to try and get on it a bit more frequently. Our schedules have just been hectic. So, yeah, today we have got some bits and bobs to chat about, starting with a little trip that Debs and Sarah went on at the weekend.
Went down to Big Gach. I don't even know how you say it. Gach.
Sounds like the noise Britney makes when she like chokes on a bit of food.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Gach Gym in Wales for a seminar with Jamie DeRigo, Mike, and Lisa, and it was really good, wasn't it, Debs?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was very different, wasn't it? Like the way that they structured it, and you actually get to see in real time how they train him.
Yeah, because Jamie...
It's pretty disgusting, wasn't it? I said it was pretty disgusting.
Yeah, to be fair, because obviously Jamie trains twice a day, so he trains at like 11 to 12, and then 4 to 5, and they kind of... And then I think he poses 9 to 10, doesn't he, or something stupid like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's... it's quite old school method, training twice a day, isn't it?
I was going to say it's normally frowned upon nowadays because people sort of argue that if you can train twice a day, you've not trained hard enough in the first session. But from what we saw, the way they structure it, they only hit about 3 exercises.
Yeah, they're like 45-minute sessions, and I think Lisa said, like they can stay on 1 to 2 exercises, but they will keep him on that exercise until he literally can't do any more and then move on. So they don't have like a set amount of sets and reps that they'll do. They'll just do that exercise until they feel that Jamie's done enough and then move on. Even if that just is 2 exercises, they'll just stick him on those. Because when I trained with them, I did like a superset, another exercise, and I think that was pretty much it. And maybe we did with one more at the end with like a rest pause, but it was like hardly any difference in exercises. They were all very similar, and I think we just ended on like 3 or 4 exercises. It was like nothing.
I suppose
compared to what I normally do with Connor, anyway.
What length are your sessions normally? Like
an hour.
Hour.
Yeah.
Yours. Because mine 10. Well, I suppose it depends how many people end up talking to me whilst I'm trying to train. I could generally.
Yeah, I think it's... Sorry, I think this is...
No, I just think I'm being gobby.
Gobby!
No, I just thought... I suppose it depends, doesn't it, on how long it takes, like, how many reps you're doing in a set, like tempo, what you're doing, and how many... The sequences of exercises, how you're pairing them or not pairing them, like supersets, sets, stuff like that. How long it takes someone to...
The point I'm getting at is if he's doing an hour and a half a day overall, it's just split into 2 sessions. So it's not actually he's not actually training longer than what my sessions would be. So I suppose if you're on prep and you're trying to conserve energy, that's probably a really sensible way of doing it.
I think it is as well, I think if you have the time and like the availability to do it with like the kit and the people around you or whatever, if you have your own business like Jamie does and stuff like that, then 1, you can focus on 1 muscle group at a time, or 2, if you need to do 2 in that session, and just split them. And then you can do like, I don't know, shoulders and arms in the morning and then like quads in the evening. Like I think it works really well. Ooh, she's gone.
Oh, she's gone. But yeah, that's what, because normally I think with the whole training twice a day thing comes from people literally doing 1.5 hour sessions to twice a day. And actually during my first, so I'd say like my second year of training, I actually trained twice a day. How did you
find it?
And they were long sessions. So I could do it, but around week 4, week 5, I really felt the fatigue. Like I really, really felt the fatigue. So that was like my second year of training, and obviously I learned, this isn't an efficient or smart way of training. I'm obviously, I think I could essentially now you could do something like legs and do like a few arm exercises later. But again, is it worth if you're aching all over, you're then just going to pull back your recovery, aren't you? Depends. Like my training's not like Amy's at all, but it was an interesting view, actually, wasn't it, of the way he did it? Like, and they look so efficient. The sessions are so efficient. It's like they get in and get out, don't they? He eats, recovers,
Yeah.
and then goes back in.
It's very good. Are you going to say something then, Ro?
No, I just think it sounds, like you said before, if you have the time, then I think it's a really efficient way. I mean, it wouldn't work. I could probably do it on my days off, but it wouldn't work around shifts.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, I think if like you said, if you've got the availability, then it's great. I think you have to be super smart about what you do in the day, as in like, okay, what am I training first, and then what am I doing as my session later? Because then you've got to think about all the other sessions that you're going to do after. So I guess you've got to be really smart about your body part selection throughout the week.
And I guess as well, it's that might work particularly well for Jamie, but say someone else tries it, maybe it wouldn't work for them. I suppose again, it's just a thing of trial and error, isn't it? To seeing what. If your current training program or split, the program that you're using now actually is yielding good results, and obviously you wouldn't change that. But then if you don't try these things, I suppose you would never know if you could be getting better results.
I mean, I'd love to try it and see what happens in an off season when like food's super high and stuff. I think it'd be sick.
Oh yeah, I mean prep and stuff. We don't change anything. We just keep that through, don't? Because if we start changing stuff now, there's
gonna be a problem.
There's you could mess it up a little bit.
We'll be big trouble. Many injuries. Nah, I mean, like you said, if you've got a split that works for you, like I've done the same split for like 2 years, 3 years now, and it just works. So might as well just keep it. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean? But yeah, I think the way that they. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just obviously I made that big change with Dan recently with my training, and it wasn't that I thought anything was broken with my training. I just wondered if I could make better progression by changing it. Because in the back of my head, I was like, am I doing too much? And I think now looking back on it, yes, I was, because I've grown so much more with doing lower, like top set, back offset, top set, back offset. That's more or less an occasional rest pause, but that's more or less all I do now. Just being more efficient.
Are you
with
finding
what I do.
like? Yeah, are you finding you can mentally like tap into what you need to now? Because I know you were struggling with that before.
Yeah, I think better, to be honest. Apart from with my back going funny, but I do feel like it's a weird feeling because I don't have the same type of DOMs that I had before either. But at the same time, it's like it's clearly working because I just nothing quits.
Had to buy a uniform for the 5th time.
Sorry?
I had to buy a uniform for the 5th time.
It is like that.
Fucking out. Yeah. So how does your split look, Ro?
Do you know what?
So I do 2 leg days, posterior chain, and then a quad dominant leg day. Then I have pull, which also has triceps. Then I have 2 push sessions, 1 more chest focused, which is what, and then both of them have calves at the beginning. So 1 more chest focus, 1 more delt focus, and then arms at the end of each session as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So
you only training back once?
Sorry?
You only training back once? Fair, yeah, because that's so ridiculous on you. You wouldn't need to change it much more.
I need everything else to...
My back is everything.
I'm just a walking back.
Oh, dear.
If it could spread to my legs, that'd be great.
CrossFitter. I think we're all like, please, more leg. Oh, right.
And bicep as well, actually. I'm a bit...
Yeah, you want some more? You can have some of my biceps.
Yeah, should we share?
Yeah, actually, if you could give me some of your back and I give you some of my biceps, then that'd be fucking grand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't ask for any of my body parts.
I'll have a bit of your face, Debs.
It's just your...
Sorry.
Debs, you're too tall for us to swap.
Yeah, that's true. We look like crane flies.
Fuck the both of you. No, fuck the both of you now. That's it. That's it.
We can interchange because we're midgets.
We're like Lego men. Or
it's not my fault you're both fucking midgets, is it?
I love your tits.
I was literally just thinking that.
Anyone can have them. Anyone can have those. You just go down to the fucking surgeon.
Mine aren't as good, Debs.
Imagine me with your boobs, Debs.
Bang, done.
Imagine me with your boobs. How funny would I look?
I think you look fucking weird.
Sarah, would you ever leave the house?
You'd probably be playing with them all the time. Like,
I don't think I would, no.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, if you had Debs' boobs, would you just be sat there like...
Too fucking right, I would. Oh, dear.
I need your surgeon's number, Debs.
Well, tell you what, they look all right now. They've got fat over them. But when I shred down, they literally look like a fucking old orange.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mine are more
what is
tennis balls in socks. Smaller.
Yeah, they look like mine look like shit when I get.
So what is your opinion? Obviously, you've both got like fake boobs. What is your opinion on women who get shredded down and it's like way obvious? Like
mine get way obvious, so I can't really comment.
Do they?
I get like puckering here.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. The problem is, the only way to avoid that is to go under the muscle, but as bodybuilders, going under the muscles catastrophic because it just pushes them out and it can cause more of that capsular contracture as well. Like, so I've got mine over. Over's easier, but then when you shred down, you'll have the thing of them being there, but they're more functional as a bodybuilder. They're more functional for us over the muscle as opposed to going under, and also recovery rate as well. You slice through the muscle, you're looking at 12 plus weeks, whereas this I think was about 4 to 6, depending.
But do you not find, Debs, like with my bikini, if I push them more, I don't like massive cleavage, but if they are just a little bit pushed together, it kind of gets rid of the puckering.
Yeah, and it's that thing as well. Like if I say I'm having a massage done and I'm having my back done, it's not so bad in off season, but with no fat there, it actually hurts. And if I'm doing like a T chest supported row or any chest supported row, if I whack that weight up, because I said this to Connor the other day, I was like, I love these dumbbell supported chest rows. I said, but if I go any heavier than 30, which is easy, I said it actually hurts. It's either I push them together and it's like a stone, or the bastards are going beside the bench, and that hurts as well. So I said I'll do them, but I'd rather them bent over. Even if you put a pad there, it still hurts, and then it puts you in a weird angle.
It kind of rounds your chest, doesn't it?
That's a downside.
You sort of end up like this.
Yeah, and it just makes you feel weird. You're like that. So it's just uncomfortable.
Mine aren't as big as yours, Deb, so I don't have the same problem, but I do know what you mean.
How?
It's like...
How many cc's have you got?
I think it was 240, but it was so long ago now, I can't really remember.
Yeah. I think mine are like 420 or something like that, which is like a deal.
It was something Dan and I were looking at,
They
actually.
like they're proportionate.
The other day. Dan and I, there was we were looking at women's physique, as obviously we do, and there was a couple, I can't remember who it was, but there was one woman who had the implants under her muscle, and it kind of accentuated her pec, and we were sort of talking about whether that was okay or not, because it's not her pec, it's the implant making her pec look bigger. Is it the same as, you hear about wellness athletes that have glute implants?
Yeah, having like a butt implant. I don't know. Like, it depends. If it's accentuating it in a way that, makes her muscle look bigger, then I suppose that's a little bit controversial, isn't it?
But does it have like a huge effect on the look of the muscle?
It did on this particular competitor. I can't remember who it was. And I also wouldn't
Has she just recently turned pro?
Not sure. It just, when you go to the search bit on your Instagram, it just happened to pop up, and I was looking and I was like, ooh, don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, tits.
I suppose maybe...
I didn't even know you could do it over and under.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So, over, they tend to go underneath here, and underneath here, and then if they go through here, don't they? On the pec. I think they go over the muscle. I think they're going through here.
I'm not sure.
And they slice through here, whereas because I've got scars underneath.
Mine were periareola.
I think muscles through there. They do somewhere up there. I should see them when they do it. Have you seen the videos? I didn't watch the surgery, luckily, before I went in. They are ruthless. They actually slit. They get it, and they go, ugh, punch it in.
Jesus Christ!
Watch
definitely
it.
will not be watching that video.
I might do if I ever become like super rich. I'm gonna do April's Fool. I'm gonna chloroform you, get you in a surgical table, and get them to cut massive.
Oh my god! Imagine.
We'll wake up. And you'll be like,
Have you seen the episode of The Simpsons where Marge gets like a boob thingy, and she just like hitting shit with her boobs?
Yeah. That would be you.
What was the reason
like,
that you got it? If you don't mind me asking, was it like a confidence thing or
me?
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Debs?
Me. But I don't know where your it says your recording's gone. Oh, your internet's gone weird. Doesn't matter. So I got mine. When did I get mine? I got mine in 2018. And originally, I always had like really small boobs, like nothing at all. And it was always like a horrible thing for me. Growing up in school and things, like all my friends had boobs, all of them apart from me. And it was horrible, like wearing dresses. I'd buy bras and they wouldn't fit. I'd have those horrible bras with like the thick padding.
Yeah. I'm chewing ice, sorry.
I had
Tell me you're sorry.
Giving you the traumatic experience of my childhood. No, I'm joking. It was not traumatic. And you're like, oh yeah, all right.
Just chaos again. Once again, we're trying to bring you a really composed and quite professional podcast, and then there's just giggling. Sorry.
Mana, this isn't a professional podcast. I think people established that for fucking episode 1. And they're still watching.
I'm just trying to... I've got to be someone's got to be sensible.
Those horrible... those horrible padded bras?
I said someone's got to be sensible.
Run amok.
None of us are sensible. Let's just be who we gotta be. Absolute dickheads.
Oh yeah. Sorry, carry on with your boob story.
Sorry, 5th time lucky now, yeah? I'm not even going to bloody bother in a minute. So, those horrible padded bras you get? They're literally like that thick on the bottom. I would have to wear those. Anything I wore those. And they were so uncomfortable because they actually used to dig in. So all my friends had, like I said, they all had boobs. And I always felt like shit. I was like, I don't really feel like a girl because I've not got boobs. I was quite tomboyish, even though I tried to be girly. And then I got to that point there. And then like my partner at the time was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you don't look good without boobs. You should get boobs. I was like, yeah, proper dickhead, this guy. I said, okay, then you want me to have boobs? You can pay for them, and I'll get them. So he was like, okay, done. I did want them, but at that point I couldn't afford them. So I got him to buy them for me. Obviously had the surgery. Then the piece of shit cheated on me two weeks later. So I got 3 pair of tits. Who's messing around with them now?
I think I could cope with that, to be honest.
Yeah, 3 pair boobies. To be fair, I did pay him back for one. So essentially, one's mine and one's his.
Brilliant.
So I say this one's mine.
Is that your favourite?
The shit one.
The shit one. Well, this one's got a little bit of like, really? Capsular contracture on that side.
Oh.
A little bit. Tiny bit. So you can have that one. I'll slice that one out. You can have that. And I'll have the one good tit.
Brilliant.
What about you, Roo? Why do you have them?
So when I started with the ambulance service, I got really fat. And then I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 2.5 stone.
Yeah.
And I went from a D cup down to a saggy A. And I just felt
damn.
horrible. So that's why I only went back up to a D. Because it's just, I just didn't feel confident.
I think with a lot of women, it is like based off confidence, isn't it?
Well, it's the thing that makes you overtly feminine, isn't it? It's what's there.
Yeah. Tits.
It just felt... I can't actually remember now what it feels like not to have boobs.
Yeah.
Well, just ask me, Like it's pretty average.
I kind of do sometimes. I was like, I wish I kind of didn't get them because now it would make my pecs look better. Right, I'd have a better because they protrude further than my chest muscles, so now I've got to push these up even more.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you have to alter your chest training with fake boobs?
when you've had them done, obviously you've got to be careful with like how much like overhead work and pushing and stuff like that. But not really. You just do whatever you want now. Do you do whatever you want, Ray?
I wasn't bodybuilding. I had mine done 10 years ago. No, longer. Probably about 12 years ago. So I wasn't even crossfitting then. I was just running a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So those bad boys were healed up, ready to go.
I love how this has just turned into a podcast about boobs.
Well, yeah.
Well, we've got to apply to all demographics, you know.
It's an interesting conversation, to be fair, because it's like I've never really thought about getting them because it's not my image. Like, obviously, everyone else gets it. Like, everyone each their own. But for me, like, I don't mind not having boobs, to be honest.
But that's you, though, isn't it? I think if you had boobs, we know it wouldn't be that wouldn't be you.
I would look hilarious.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't, though, would it? Imagine you walking up one day and you're like, "Oh, hey guys," I'm like, "What the hell are those?
Look at my bazookas."
That's what I was looking at. Damn.
Yeah, nah, but each to their own. I know a lot of like bikini girls and that get them, but I guess it's just more part of their stage look, is it? I guess I don't know.
Well, that's what I've heard before. Apparently, again, bikini girls need to correct me if I'm wrong here, but apparently you get marked better. You get better points if you've got boobs. I've heard. That's what I've heard. And girls that have had like reasonably flat-chested have been marked down for it. Again, I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't think that a criteria or a judge or anything would overtly or like categorically say you need boobs to get a better thing. But I don't know. We'll have to be correct. We have to be corrected. We need some.
Well, we have got Kerry, haven't we, coming on in the future?
Ah, yes. That's
when she's
to watch
yes,
out for
that's
that one.
very interesting.
I said we'd leave her until after our preps, which I think is probably for. Sorry, Sarah, that you got.
I was going to say no. That should be good. So keep an eye out for that one. Faux show. Oh, that's my bikini dream out of the way.
Do you know what you could do, Sarah? You know, you can get those prosthetic boobs that almost look like a bra.
My grandma had one when she had a vasectomy.
Yeah, you can get two of them, put them on. Literally, you could see that as an April Fool's joke. Put them on, just walk out one day.
Like, you should surprise Leets.
You could blend them onto your skin as well.
Yeah. Hey, honey.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Leets.
Look what I've done.
Look at these bad boys.
Oh, fucking hell.
But you can actually get them, you know. You can get the prosthetics done, and they like blend them onto your skin. They like move them onto here, and it literally looks like you get whole new boobage.
That's amazing. I think Leets' mum has a fake boob, you know. Because she had breast cancer, so she had one of her boobs removed. Or something happened.
My grandma had that done.
Maybe
my grandma just had it was like a fillet that went in her bra.
Yeah.
She was like 80 when she had breast cancer. Well, maybe a bit younger than that, 17. She was just like, I don't need a fake boob.
I don't need a titty.
No.
Fuck the titty.
I actually know someone that their mum was prone to breast cancer, and instead of obviously risking it, they had all of it removed, and then they had fake boobs. No, someone I know as well. Like one of my friends had it. I don't know if
she's going to. She's waiting for the surgery now.
She wants to chance it. Yeah.
Oh damn.
And get it put in. It's worth it though, isn't it? I mean, it's not worth the risk.
It's something like
is it a
80 to 95% chance she will get breast cancer.
Yeah, you might as well get it done.
Oh jeez.
I don't like them odds.
Yeah. That's a high risk, isn't
that's
it?
Shit odds. Is it quite invasive as a procedure?
Yes. Yeah. From what I understand.
Oh, damn.
Do they remove like lymph nodes?
I'm not sure if they take the lymph. No, but they have to take everything, like even nipples.
No.
And she's also got to have her fallopian tubes removed as well because she's got a high chance of ovarian cancer. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh, ice cube was really cold.
You need to stop eating ice cubes when we're having these types of conversations, mate. She's there, you're like a serious conversation. She's
like, anyway, moving on from the femininity thing, I thought this would flow nicely at the. What's that?
No, it's just Did
you see? Well, at the GAR seminar, we had the chance to have like a Q&A with like Mike, Licia, and Jamie, and I brought up the question why she thought that WPD or bigger girl categories aren't getting the recognition they deserve, or they're kind of like disappearing. And she actually said that she thinks that the reason that these categories are kind of moving away is because we're pushing women further and further and further, and the idea that the femininity of the class is a disappearance or is disappearing. So the I guess maybe I'm not explaining it very well, but would you agree, Debs? She was basically saying that, you know, the more we push these women, the less likely people are gonna want to do it because they have to push themselves so much further to get there.
Well, yeah, I think her argument was it's women's bodybuilding, and what they're asking of us in like encompassing it is asking us to push beyond what we can do as women, and then we're crossing a line where we are risking, you know, losing femininity. It's a lot of health implications, and a lot of what the risks that go with that aren't reversible as well. So I think that's what
that's what I thought.
And she was talking about preserving the health of an athlete as well, because it's not healthy for us to push them. I mean, men can do it, and they'll still have sides, but they won't be half as noticeable as if we do it, because if we start, our voices start dropping super low, we're growing hair, and, you know, just literally transforming our physiques in a way that we can't really reverse. You can see that. Whereas on a guy, if they get a bit of a deeper voice, and, you know, it's not, they don't really care too much, do they?
Yeah. And I think as well, when you look at the development of like women's physique from like the Dana and Bailey era, the Julia McKenna era, like they are way smaller, way softer than what women's physique is now. I mean, women's physique is just a stone's throw from bodybuilding with how hard conditioned and how big these girls are. I mean, obviously, like we're comparing to what we've seen on Instagram and stuff like that. So people, obviously, Instagram is a bit like, oh, is she really that big? Is she really like blah 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 blah? But like the development of this category, in fact, like size and stuff like that is huge. So I guess what she was saying is how far is too far. What do you think, Ro?
I'm just thinking of the Olympia and the women that have placed and won, and thinking, I'm talking like the last couple of years, because I obviously that's my bodybuilding background. I didn't really follow it before 4 years ago, and I think perhaps there was that was happening, but I think if you look at who's top now, they still look really feminine in their features.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Sarah, I mean, she's beautiful. Like, she's not masculine in
Shaw.
a real way, is she?
Is it Adrena? Andrea Shaw?
That name does ring a bell.
The women's bodybuilding Olympia.
Yes, yeah.
She's really feminine still.
Yeah, but she won't be beat.
Sorry?
But I think that's a massive component as to why she won't be beaten, because she's maintained that femininity, and she's just fucking massive. And to get that balance to marry that together is very, very rare. And I think that's why she will dominate for years to come, because there's no one's really going to touch her on that, really. And if they do get the size, they're going to lose their femininity.
I suppose.
Like she's genetic, isn't she? She probably doesn't touch half as much as the gear that others are using. I
suppose my thing is, it's like,
I don't know,
it's up to us as individuals how far we do and don't want to push. But to be not able to have a platform to be able to compete because other people have decided they don't want to put the shows on, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, Iris Kyle back in the day on Generation Iron said, it's not a beauty pageant, it's a bodybuilding show. Yeah. Like, so I guess that she's essentially saying, why is femininity such a big thing when you're looking at the structure of someone's body and their physique and how muscular they are, how conditioned they are, not necessarily their face. But I guess with like the evolution of social media and shit like that, I guess femininity is more of a big portion of the judging criteria, because they don't want women to be looking like men on stage, because it just gives off bad press, I guess. And it promotes the use of heavier drugs in women to get to that stage, which people don't want.
I think it's important that femininity is still a criteria.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I said to someone the other day, to to hold on to femininity and gain the muscle is actually a very complex thing to do, because you're gonna have to bide your time and you do it a lot longer. And like that's the road I want to go down anyway. I want to do it over a longer period of time, and just I'm not in any rush. I'm not in a rush at all. So I'd rather do it like that than once, like we said, once you've got a lot of those side effects, you can't go back. And it's a scary thought as well. Like it's quite a scary thought. So that's just, again, for people watching this, like rushing into it and they're trying to streamline it and do it on a fast track.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's really not worth it, because you'll look back and think, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I just waited a few more years.
Well, apparently I've already fucked it, according to some bird in Tesco's who thinks that I'm a transsexual.
Was that in Tesco's, was it? I thought it was at the show.
No, it's Tesco's.
But there, you've just...
Fucking Tesco's.
But you've literally just highlighted in that one sentence there, a woman in Tesco's who knows fuck all about bodybuilding, probably has read some random shit from a Karen on Facebook. Like, we don't listen to the opinions of
the thing is, though,
people that
so
worth it.
The way it happened was I'm paying, and she's come up to me and she's like, I just wanted to say, you look amazing. You look so amazing. And then she's gone like this. By the way, I work with people like you, transsexuals. And I was like, I'm not a transsexual. And she's like, oh, well, me and my husband, we were just saying that, like, yeah, we thought that you were because of this, that, and whatever. And, like, although you've got curves, like, you still don't look particularly... And I'm just like, why are you still talking? And because I'm paying, I can't even walk away from her, because I would have had to... I got close to just leaving my shopping and going, because I was like, it was really loud and really embarrassing. And it's just like, if you work with transsexuals, why do you think that they want to be reminded that they're a transsexual by you approaching them and telling them that that they're a transsexual?
But that's obviously just someone that has absolutely no filter, doesn't have any brain cells in there or the capacity to read a situation. And again, it's more of a... Again, I say this to people, it's more a reflection on them than it is of you. They're just narrow-minded. They don't know what they're talking about. If you came out and said to her, say she was overweight, and she's there buying like a fucking shit ton of Oreos and some fucking crackers and shit, you wouldn't go, oh, I really respect people like you that are like dedicated to being overweight. You wouldn't go and say something, but you wouldn't go and say something like that, would you? Like, you just wouldn't. People think because you're different and because you've got muscle that then gives them the right to
it was
share
her parting comment, which was, well, whatever you are, you still look amazing, as if she still didn't believe that I was a woman. Just like...
Well, I'll be like, well, whatever I am, it's surely better than you. So
I'll be like, I identify as a toaster oven. Put your slice in me.
Today I'm going to be a cabbage.
But do you know what? Honestly, the platform I get the most comments like that, and you can go through and read them on my TikTok. They are ruthless on there. They're literally like, oh, is this a guy? Oh, look at this trans. That's disgusting. Why do you think you can be a... you're putting women to shame, men, da-da-da-da-da. And it's literally like time. It's this there, and I know it's going to affect people differently, but I honestly just don't give a shit. Like, if that's the way they want to think, that's fine. But it just goes right over my head, because normally when I look at the picture of that person, they're normally missing all their teeth. They've got like a picture of, I don't know, like a fucking frog with a meme on it. There's nothing there to show who they are, because they're more embarrassed of who they are than anything else. And they're like, right, let's go troll and find someone I can make feel like shit, which will make me feel better. And that's just the way the world works now. So you just got to let them fly.
I suppose for me personally, there's a difference between someone trolling me on social media and then somebody saying that to my face. I can kind of shrug it off if it's a comment on a social media post, but when it's there in front of me in 3D, interrupting my shopping, and I've not put myself out there other than all I'm doing is buying some food, that was the difference to me. It came so out of the blue.
Wait, what were you wearing?
Just a dress. Because nothing else fits.
Was it like, did you have your arms and stuff on show?
Wow.
That's the thing though. Like, I suppose we are going to stick out like sore thumbs, aren't we? And it's not. It doesn't give people the right. It doesn't give people the right to make those comments.
No, but
I'm not saying that.
What's with the presumption of because I've got muscle, I must be a bloke?
Yeah, but that's just the way fucking society perceives us. That's on them. That's not on us. That's on them. Like, it's 2022. Like, if people don't understand shit like that, then they're literally just stuck in the dark ages, I'm afraid. And like, again, it's a woman in Tesco. What the fuck does she? No offense to anyone that shops in Tesco.
I shop in Tesco, Dad. Fuck you.
I shop in Tesco, but it's some randomer that literally just has no clue. Like, she's, yeah, it's just an idiot. I've literally had guys come up to me before and be like, "Oh, you like, what are you? Some type of, you a bloke?" I literally have had that. I've been out shopping with my mum in Truro, walked through Primark, and like someone's literally gone, "Oh, look at this geezer," and they've said it to me, and I'm like, okay, and I just walk past and just fucking ignore him, because the more attention you give them,
this is like just half the reason I don't wear like t-shirts and shit out in public, because I can't be bothered with the shit that people give us. Yeah, the comments, and that's like obviously each your own, whatever you want to wear, but like I just can't be bothered with it. I'd rather just cover up and sweat my ass off than walk around like in a t-shirt or a vest or whatever.
I was like that,
but
until I feel far more comfortable not covering up when I'm with Dan, because it doesn't look, there's two of us, it doesn't look so weird.
Yeah. I say, if we went out in a trio, I don't think anyone would say anything. But it's like, the thing is, we shouldn't have to cover ourselves up. Again, this is no hate against anyone else, but you know, the majority of the population are overweight, and they can dress and go out as they please, and no, not an eyelid's bat at them, but because it's like foot shaming, isn't it? Like, because we have more muscle, people think that, oh, that person's not actually a person, it's just like a shell with like muscle on it. I can go and throw some words at them, but it's just, again, you don't want to add to the fuel to their fire, do you? Really, you just want to ignore them.
Wolves don't lose their opinion over something about sheep.
Wolves don't waste their opinion on something like that. Sorry, I've had to stand up.
Oh yeah. All I heard was a wolf and a stone.
I can't remember the quote. I'm trying to be motivational for y'all.
I think Tom used that once, and I think he says we don't listen to the opinions of peanuts.
Wolves don't waste time with opinions of sheep or something like that.
Something like that.
Or lions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, it like comes back to the reel that I put up today, like about negative comments and stuff, and you've just got to show them like to fuck off, essentially. Like, obviously it's different because this is some random woman in Tesco, but like wherever you go, there's going to be someone that's going to make some shitty comment, but then there's also going to be someone that's going to make a really nice comment, and you've just got to fucking like lose that negative comment and just fucking walk away. And it is shit. Like, I see where you're coming from, Ro, in the fact that it was in person, but like I guess in other aspects of like social media and shit, you just got to fucking go with it and just leave it and be like, you know what, fuck you.
The fact that person thought that was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm over it now. Yesterday I was a bit like,
fucking bitch.
It's a big old CC.
What's that?
That's what I call him. That's a C word.
What?
Cunt? C word twice. I call him CCs.
What?
Cunty cunts. Cunty cunts. CCs. It's a good way of calling him a cunt, I don't know. Goddamn CC, or a cucumber, I call him as well.
I like it a lot.
I was so taken aback. I couldn't even think of something like that to say. Like, I couldn't even say
anything to her?
I think you should stop talking now.
I think, Karen.
What shopping did you buy?
Rice, porridge.
Yeah, what else?
Smoked salmon.
Oh.
Ah, right. You get the salmon out, you peel it out, and you slap the bitch across the face with it. That would really hurt. That's what I would have done. I'd be like, hold on just 1 second. Peel. I've done that before. Sorry to go off topic, but you know, you get a whole thing in Tesco. I was in there with my brother once. He was walking. I picked it up and I hit him across the head.
Bring it. Mate, I would have loved to have seen that.
That's what you should have done. You should have hit it with salmon.
Yeah. It was only a little pack, though. It was only about that big. She had quite a big face.
Oh, and it is really expensive.
It would have hurt. Yeah, it's worth it.
I think Dan would have been pissed if I came back.
Next time, Romana, go through your shopping. Go through your shopping next time. Or you could have got one in each hand and done like a sandwich for her.
2 bags of porridge.
But yeah, don't worry about it, Ro. Yeah, have a rain of oats. But yeah, don't worry about it, Ro. It happens. She's just some random lady that doesn't know what she's talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's watching this.
Whoever you are,
I hope so.
Be careful.
fuck off.
I am a woman.
Yes, we're all women here. Although I do
wasn't about to get
identify
my
as a
flaps out,
toaster, like I said.
to prove it.
Oh, speaking of which,
What, getting your flaps out?
I think this is what Sarah's written down. So you want me to get my flaps out? That's on OnlyFans only.
No, I said I could have got my flaps out for her to prove it, but I didn't quite fancy it.
Oh,
And then you said something about that's something, and I was like, what? So get your flaps out?
Classic.
You could have done that, but she probably still would have been like, "No, I'm not
Yeah,
convinced."
Shame
that's
more.
some very convincing surgery
You know
you've
what I
had
mean?
there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's quite good, isn't it? I might get that done myself because mine are looking a bit
Yeah.
saggy. I might try to do
Blue
one.
waffle. Can we name this episode "Get Your Flaps Out"?
Get your flaps out.
Get your flaps out. We can
Big
name
titties
it,
and flaps
smoked
out.
salmon and flapping.
Big titties
that?
and flaps out.
Mm-hmm. Boobs.
We'll include the flaps and the boobs in there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
We'll come up with a name. Did you want to move on to what Sarah has been doing?
Oh yes,
for
Queen
real?
Sarah.
All hail.
She's been.
shit.
Yeah. So, did you see her video of her giving out the prize at Texas?
Yes, it looks sick.
Oh, bro,
it
it was
gave me the goosebumps.
amazing. It's such a good video. It's basically like how she, because obviously she funded Texas, the prize money in Texas, didn't she? So it was like 15 grand to the winner of women's physique, and how she's like trying to push women's physique and how it should be in every show. Because I think the Texas show is a women's physique show, isn't it? Yeah. So she's just trying to promote that, and she's just like such a role model for the category, for the sport. Like, obviously we've had other women's physique Olympiads, but I think Sarah has done the most for the sport recently, anyway.
I'm trying to log in and find her thing because my laptop's logged me out of my my Instagram. But I think that actual Texas one's just a women's physique one, isn't it?
Bridgman did men's physique there.
Oh yeah.
I just think that she funds that women's physique category more. I think it's the biggest prize fund out of any that I've seen, anyway.
I would have watched it.
Prize money. I don't understand why women.
Mate, the prize fund for Pro Legions is $3,000 if you win. That doesn't even cover the costs of me going to the States.
I know that seems like a lot of money to people watching this, but if you've actually, my competing as an amateur this year cost a lot more than that. A lot more. And as a pro, again, like we've spoken about before in here, you have to go overseas. You have to. So you're looking at a minimum of $3,000 just before you've even gone anywhere. You've got your suit, you've got your tan, you've got your makeup, flights, you've got to, and essentially wherever you are, you've got to travel to an airport. Sometimes you might stay over the night before as well, so you don't miss your flight. Then you've got to travel. Then you get there. Then you've got your comment. You get there earlier. You can't arrive at international shows. You can't arrive there a day early. You've got to get there, 3-4 days early to let obviously everything just decompress. Then you're there for a few days after. Then you've got food.
It's fucking expensive. Yeah, I was having a chat with someone the other day, and they were like, "Oh, so are you doing any shows like near here?" And I was like, "No, all of them are either in the States or Europe." And then me and Tom had the discussion that really, like, as a pro, you should be competing a little bit more often. Obviously, given if you need the time off, you need the time off. But like, if you're an active pro, you should realistically be staying on the scene as much as you can within reason. And that means either going into the States and staying for like an extended period of time and doing multiple shows, like Scott McNally said, is the fact that you've got so much more opportunity in terms of competing in the States that you could probably do more in a season. Like instead of doing 1 or 2, I could do 3 or 4. Whereas like over here, you just don't have anything, do you? I mean, the Europe shows are good, but then how many Europe shows have women's physique nowadays? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Very, very few. You're very lucky to even find one.
Yeah. What one's the big man? Is that Alicante? Yeah, I thought so. That's supposed to be a really good show.
And that's not. I suppose that's not too bad.
Nice. That'd be good. That'd be very good.
I'm gonna keep myself into little
Well, fatty. Oh, fatty. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God. Good Lord.
Oh shit.
Fucking phone.
Well, I mean, we've done. We'll sign off in a minute. But I mean, like, we'll just. Oh God, what's that?
Yeah, but what Sarah's been doing anyway is just fucking unbelievable. And we just need to try and drive it a little bit more, women's physique, because it is an amazing category. And the women that are there, if femininity is still something that people are really up about, the women are still really super feminine. Yeah, maybe they're not what people want to see, like, no offense to bikini, but like obviously bikini's easier on the eye, I guess, depending what you like. But I think women's physique is an amazing category. It has some amazing women in it. I mean, the woman who won Texas Pro, I forget her name. She's fucking unbelievable, and she's got beautiful structure. She's pretty. Like, what more do they want out of a category? Just because they're slightly more muscle to a woman's frame, like. But it doesn't mean that it should just be shunned to the side, because the fact that the guy who shunned figure 212 and obviously women's physique from the Arnolds just said there was no depth to the category. And what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean there's like not enough women, or does that mean that they're not good enough, or like there's just no, like, nothing to that? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know, but I was having that conversation. I can't remember the two ladies that I was talking to. It's definitely a World Zenobia, but I know his name's something Zenobia.
Is this the two figure girls that have the podcast? Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a podcast, and they were saying like the comment was like, oh, you've got no depth, and it's ridiculous, because again, my consensus is that if these categories exist at a level of the Olympia, and they're very competitive categories at the Olympia, they've created these categories. They've driven them to be. They've created, because obviously, like before, women's bodybuilding was just one class, wasn't it? And you had the lights and the heavies. But now that they've managed to section these off into different categories, they created that. So they pushed out women's bodybuilding a long time ago, and they've obviously started to integrate it back in now. But why create these categories? Why have them at the Olympia if you're not going to allow those, at the bottom of the rung, like the new pros, if you're not allowed them to climb, they can't get there if you don't provide them with the shows. How are they meant to get up? And even at amateur level, like when I've competed, there's only ever like a handful of us, because they're not promoting it enough. And then it's a shame. Like, again, if there had been more people at Finland, I know it's an if. I've already got my pro card. I'm saying that. I mean, the other one that could have turned up would have been Ace and beaten me, but there still would have been another pro now if more had turned up, if they had promoted it enough. And I always feel like it shows it's kind of like the one that's last minute, like, oh, is there anyone around that can get in the category? It shouldn't be like that. It should be right from the get-go. There's enough competitors here, and maybe if there weren't throughout the year, just say, right, these two, like they did, push them all to like one or two regionals, make them do it, and there's enough there. And the same with the pro shows, like, right, we know that there's people that are going to do it. There's plenty of us out there. I mean, look how many people, amateur level as well, have now moved from figure up to physique within this year. A lot, because obviously on Tom's team as well, I know off the bat 5 girls that have gone up into women's physique.
I mean, a couple of my girls have. So it's getting there, but it's just. And then obviously, like on a couple podcasts, people are saying that does it mean that they're not good enough? They're not of a good caliber, and you're like, these are like some of the best women in the fucking world, and they're not good enough. Like, what? This is coming back to what Lisa said. Like, how far can you push this category? What is good? Like, there's physically, we can only put on so much muscle. Obviously, there's so many variables that come into it, but like, I'm only 5'3", and how far can I push my body to be bigger, to be more conditioned, like without losing, like with my voice changing, with my face changing, like, and you're saying that's still not good enough? Like, where does it end? What can we do to get these divisions back? I mean, in my opinion, like the removal of figure was a shock, because I thought that was still something that was socially acceptable.
Well, I do feel for figure, of course, but people only then stepped in to be like, figure's been taken out. But they needed to do that with physique as well, women's physique. They needed to make that stance because obviously that's happened to figure. People were like, shit, you know what? This is a crime. You can't do that. But they've been doing it to women's physique, and I think it's kind of moving along that way where they kind of just, like you said, they just want to push bikini and the categories that are more socially acceptable, and there's more, there's more like a likability, and people can sort of, I don't know, they can relate to that more. It's more obtainable, whereas like our categories aren't. But we're promoting it in a way. We're saying don't fast track getting that much muscle. It takes a long time to put on that amount of muscle. You've been training since
what? I probably started when I was like 10.
Training? Right, you're 25 now, aren't you? Yeah, I started when I was 19, probably 20. I'm 28 now, 29 this year, and yeah, obviously we all know that we use pads and stuff like that, but the minimal amount, and people can believe what they want, but it's so minimal. And in off season, we tend to just try and drive food more and push pads away. We don't want that. We don't. I don't like. None of us like using pads, but we use it as a supplement to what we're going to do. We don't just think, oh, we'll just push as much as we can on. We don't want to do it, but it's a part of the package, I'm afraid. If you want to be a pro, it's the route you've got to go down. Like, we accept the risks and what goes on there, but we need to have some type of line and limit put there, and also support as females. We're not getting
and it's like need. Coming back to obviously when figure got dropped and everyone went up in arms. I think it was Lee Priest that said, "Oh, where the fuck are all the other categories supporting these categories? Then like we should be fighting for each other, and nothing is seen." Like, he was saying that other categories should step down as well and be like, "Look, we're not doing anything until you let these ladies compete," because arguably the bigger girls have to go through more fucking shit than the smaller girls, because we're bigger. We demand, our bodies demand more. Like, and I'm not saying bikini girls don't work hard, or wellness girls or whatever, because they fucking do, but like the stress that we have to go through as bigger girls, like, not saying we will push, we like, coming back to drugs, like we all use drugs, but like, the amount of drugs that we require to get into the condition to get to the size that we do is probably considerably a little bit more than what bikini girls have to use. So we're putting our body in such a high stress state to get, to the best condition possible to be someone on stage, and then we're having it swiped away from our feet. Like, the other categories need to make a stand as well in order to make these categories, put into the forefront of these people's minds that are taking them away.
Well, the thing is as well, unfortunately, if nothing happens to certain people, they won't do anything until it's knocking on their door. Then they'll pipe up. But the problem is, like, this will keep going, and it will start like bleeding into other categories. Then things start to kick off. But they have to remember, without competitors, they have no show. If they've got no competitors, they've got no spectators, they'll have no sponsors, there'll be no show. Then they'll be forced to actually be like, you know what, we've got to rethink this. If they need to take time off and think, like, redo the criteria of categories, they need to just re-look at it. They've kind of held on to this I don't know, this thing that women should look this way, and that's just not how it is anymore, I'm afraid. They have to look at it and be like, right, these women are going to want to compete regardless. Like, I'm sure we know women online and stuff, or even men that get into insane shape and they don't compete. That's still going to exist whether the stage is there or not. So why not just provide us with a platform and let us show and entertain people? Like, essentially, that's what we're there for, right? We do what we enjoy, and we share it with people, and we entertain them, and that's what it's all about. It's about putting on a show for people. And if there's no athletes, there's no spectators, they're not going to make any money. Yeah, and that's what everything falls on, unfortunately, is money. So,
it's just crazy. And I think if we don't make a difference now, women's physique will probably go down the same route as bodybuilding and won't be involved anymore. Yeah, and you've got all these amazing women without a platform. Like, what? I'm not going to move down, because I've spent years building this muscle, building this physique. I'm not going to go anywhere. Like, I'm going to either just stay here and be depressed, or fucking work my ass off to try and get WPD where it should be.
It's not right, and they have to remember. Say, we moved down. Like, I got pushed out of figure because I wouldn't have done well in figure. Like, even though in Finland they wanted me to go into figure, I wouldn't have done well because I just don't have. I don't know I don't have the shape for figure. But there are going to be women that if it does go, they're going to move down to figure, and then they're going to push out a lot of the top contenders in figure, because they could lose a bit of muscle and push down. There's going to push a lot of other people out. Then they're going to lose spectators that essentially watch those people, and it will just throw everything off, because they did do that, didn't they? When they moved bodybuilding out, it shunted the bodybuilders into physique into figure, figure into bikini. Like a lot of people.
And I think as well, then if you're moving all these physique girls down to figure, could you argue that that's going to change how it's judged? Because they're going to be small bodybuilders just in a figure category. Whereas like these figure girls on a pro level are huge anyway, but like, it's just they need to think of the bigger picture, because it's just something is just not working, and be that, you know, the fact that people don't want to look at muscular women, or it's a money situation. I just don't know. They just need to look at the bigger picture, and I think Sarah is taking it into her own hands, and I think that will probably play a big part. And if people who listen to this don't think politics are a big part in placing in a bodybuilding show, they are. And I think what Sarah's done this year will put her into the forefront of the judge's mind on the day. Obviously, that's only a certain percentage. It is obviously based off physique, blah, blah, blah. But I think if you've made an impact in the bodybuilding industry, that also kind of puts you in the limelight of the judges, because you're always in their face trying to make a difference.
Well, that's a big thing, isn't it? Like, being accredited your pro status as well, you've got to remember that you're then a representation of the IFBB. So you have to act in a certain way. You have to, you're a professional at that point, you know? So everything you do is a reflection on them. So whether you do good or bad, that will have an impact. I definitely have an impact, you know? There's not really, and I mean, I can say this because I'm not a pro. I don't belong to a federation yet, but, you know, it will have an impact for sure. You know, you've got people like Lee Priest, like they got rid of him, didn't they? Because he put up a fight. You know, and it's not, you know, some people might like, he's like Marmite, isn't he? Some people like him, some people love him, but the thing is with him, he's direct and he tells the truth, and he actually does stick up for bodybuilding as well.
Well, like I said, we spent fucking hundreds of thousands on getting the physique ready to be able to get on a pro stage and show what we are, hard work and stuff like that, and then it's just getting taken away. It's a joke, mate, honestly. It's annoying.
Well, something needs to change, and obviously the only way of doing it, that's one of the main reasons, well, that is the reason for this podcast, right, is to try and just raise awareness and just kind of get people to just pull their heads out their asses and just do something, because it's ridiculous. It's stupid.
Exactly, mate. But hey ho, one step at a time. We'll do our best. I'll go on stage in 5.5 weeks and be like, "This is women's physique," on the microphone, like, bah, bah, bah.
That's what I was going to end on. We'll end on that.
Fireworks.
You are.
Yeah, sorry, we lost Romana halfway through. Her phone died, or overheated, or one or the other.
Go on, is that what she said? Phone's just started working again. Have you guys finished?
Yeah.
Just going to wrap it up. Just quickly, how many weeks?
5.5. Yes, 39 days. I finally managed to sort my head out. Because obviously in previous podcasts I have said we had a few little issues that were out of my control. Where is it? I finally managed to get this on. So it's it's like countdown app. I'm finally in a good place to be able to that, and it's 39 days, Debs.
That's gonna fly, but honestly, well, you can see. Look at her face.
I got all the line thing.
You look like I did when I was like that.
Yeah, it's the
shiny shrunken head.
It's coming.
Look, we've changed. I've got little tubby cheeks.
I got the flaps.
The stretched in.
Tom threw it yesterday. He was like, "Oh, Jamie's doing Vancouver," and I was like, "Oh, so are you going?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going with Jamie." And he was like, "You should jump in." I was like, "No," and he was like, "Do it." And then we found out that Women's Physique isn't even in Vancouver, but it would have been sick.
There we go.
To just be like, "Fuck it, I'll just go to Vancouver."
That's the problem. It's almost you have to dig.
Mate, I know.
Women's Physique.
It's fucking shit. I thought it was in the majority of all state shows, to be honest, but it's not even in all the state shows.
Like, it's nowhere. It's literally just
like the Boston Pro. I would love to have done that, but they don't do Women's Physique anymore.
Well, maybe obviously all the work that Sarah's putting in this year, maybe we'll see more. We'll see it present in more shows next year.
I'd love to do the Texas show next year. No, they've got
time.
Yeah.
I think you should do that. If you do the Texas show, I'm going to come along and I'm going to hire the biggest, loudest pickup truck. I'm going to put on my hat and be like, yeah.
You should so take it. Well, I can't get a bit of grass in
I'm going to put a little bit of like, that's what I'm going to be like, and I'm going to, and I'm going to get some chewing tobacco and just put massive stereotype here. Anyone from Texas, I'm really sorry. Please don't kill me.
I love that. But yes, we'll just keep chipping away and doing our best for Miss Physique and stuff.
We shall. But yes. Anyway, guys, keep an eye out on Sarah's Instagram. Small but mighty, that little one there. Have a look. She's putting up some good content as well. So go and have a little look see. And remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell button.
Ding ding.
Sarah, do the ding ding. And we will see you guys for the next one next
week. See you later.
Peace
Bye.
out and thanks for watching. Bye.